What has my life come to, man? Why am I spending 1 bill on a pair of shoes? Well, that's because the Delve boss just got released into old school RuneScape, bringing with it some new incredible rewards from best in slots to upgrades that bridge the gap to the late game. Looking at the stats for the Delve boss, there's only actually been, what, about 2,500 completions at level 8 and deeper, and this is 24 hours after release. Look at that, the global deepest delve is only 13. This boss is difficult. No wonder the items are costing a lot right now. Oh no, they bought. What's the damage? Holy 748 mil for the Avernic Treads. At least I get some change with that. By far the most expensive shoes I've ever bought in old school RuneScape. Was it worth it? Okay, they cost 748 mil because of their power level. These Avernic Treads grow even stronger. At the base level, they have amazing stats. Fantastic defenses. We've got +4 strength. We've got range strength. For the first time ever, even Pegasians don't have any range strength. At their base, they also have exactly the same magic damage as Eternal Boots, and only slightly worse melee strength than Primordials, -1. And they do have +5 in all the attack bonuses, +11 mage, +15 range. These are the all-in-one treads. The boots get better though. You upgrade them with demon tears, which cost a pretty penny, but are new items dropped by the Delve boss. Now the treads will be our new best in slot boots for all 3 styles, melee, mage, and range, but you have to choose which one you want to go all in at once with. So let's use the primordial boots on the treads, and it asks if we want to create Avernic Treads Primordial. Yes, 200 mage XP, 200 runecrafting XP, and we have upgraded treads. Treads PR, that costs 4,000 demonic tears, which is about 2 mil right now. Okay, new shoes. Oh, they look bigger. They look more interesting for sure. Okay, right, let's compare them to the old shoes. And the difference with the primordial treads is now I have +6 melee strength, but I also retain all those other bonuses I had before: the stab, slash, crush, mage, range strength, magic damage. After testing lots of max strength setups for lots of different weapons, the treads don't actually give any max hits for all that money, unfortunately. But with the primordial treads, it's definitely more about retaining those other bonuses. Right, now let's move on to the other forms of the treads. I dismantle the boots. Does that mean I lose my primordials? I hope not. Okay, I got my primordials back, but I lost the tears. Right, let's change to the eternal boots. Yep, let's make the eternal boots. Do they look any different? Probably not. I don't think they do. Do they? I don't think they do. As you might expect, these are now the best in slot mage boots. And as before, you retain all the other base stats, including 4 melee strength. The eternal treads give 2% magic bonus compared to the old eternals, which give 1%. And once again, we can chop and change from the eternals and create the Pegasian treads, which look the same. As you might expect. And these are actually a really nice upgrade in terms of stats. Pegasians have always been a bit of a meme. They just give range accuracy, which isn't particularly important, and never any range strength. The Pegasian treads give you 3 range strength. And just for context, 3 range strength is like wearing a quiver that has 3 range strength, but on your feet. So this is a pretty sizable upgrade when it comes to range. If you're looking at the T-bow, it's actually 2 max hits. It goes from 81, from the pegs, a 79. So the Pegasian treads really do carry when it comes to range, and it's quite a big upgrade here. If you missed yesterday's video, I explored the Varmore area and just had a bit of a run around. And wait, who's over there? A data broker. And this guy is profiting off your data online. Introducing today's video partner to help deal with this, Delete Me. Have you ever Googled your own name and been shocked at how much of your personal information is out there on the internet? Well, that's because of data brokers that collate your data and then sell it on. It's no secret that doxing, DDoSing, social engineering, they've all gone hand in hand with sections of the RuneScape community for years, and these guys make it easier for those bad actors to get to you. Delete Me saves you time and reduces the risk of getting your data into the wrong hands by removing your data from hundreds of data broker websites. Delete Me also actively monitors data broker websites, making that your personal info stays removed. And after using Delete Me, some of my more exposing data has been removed from the internet, and that can only be a good thing. Get 20% off Delete Me consumer plans when you go to joindeleteme.com/solomission and use code SOLOMISSION at checkout. Next up, a brand new best in slot, the Confliction Gauntlets. Let's see, 200 mil, come on. These seem like they're a little bit more common. 183 mil, I'll happily pay that for best in slot. Right, I'm curious, what do these things actually look like? Oh, wow, we've got the full-on gloves. Okay, they're an upgrade to the Tormented Bracelet, which is why they follow the same color scheme. So it's a lot going from just a little bangle to the full mittens almost, I want to say. As for the bonuses themselves, they offer 20 magic attack bonus, and the main thing, 7% magic damage. So comparing it to the Tormented Brace, these Confliction Gauntlets are plus 20 compared to plus 10 magic accuracy, which is huge, and they give that extra plus 2% magic damage. But for things like the Shadow, remember it gets multiplied by 3, so that 2% becomes a 6%. And with Max Mage, now we have the Gauntlets and the Treads, 2 updates in 1 to this Max Mage set, which is kind of insane. 81% magic damage. Before this update, that was 72% with the Shadow. So yes, the max hit, of course, let's give that a test. 70 in Max Mage. Let's compare that to the old one, which was 66. So yes, Magic getting a huge buff. Now the stats alone make these great, but what makes them even more interesting is what happens when we inspect them. They have a special effect. When worn, they grant your next magical attack of the same type a doubled chance of hitting if the previous attack missed. So when I splash my first magic attack with the Gauntlets, my second magic attack now gets doubled accuracy and I get the hit. Doubled accuracy rolls are huge. The only other weapon that does this is the Osmundton's Fang, and that's what makes it so good. When you miss, it re-rolls once. However, these gauntlets don't work with two-handed weapons, most notably the Shadow. Although because how the tripling effects of the Shadow work, I'm sure it'll survive. Now that is a lot of stats that I've gone through. Where does this stuff actually excel in the real world? Well, obviously, anywhere you're looking to mage, these gauntlets are going to be good. And the gauntlets are actually more beneficial to non-max setups because you're more likely to splash, which means you're more likely to get double accuracy rolls. So the percentage increase in DPS is better. If you're maging with a Shadow, you're not really missing that often, are you? I actually think the Confliction Gauntlets will have more of an impact on PvP than PvM because that's where it really matters, catching a freeze at a crucial time. And you can potentially manipulate the situation to use them to max effect. Even just when it comes to setup selection, the gauntlets will make a massive difference. I'm in All-Stars gear here, but the wider point will remain for general PvP. If you can work the gauntlets into your setup, it's effectively the death of shield switching. Now you will switch your gloves instead. If you look at this, Barrow's gloves, Mage's Buck, 117 mage bonus, put Crystal Shield, gauntlets on, 106 mage bonus, but you gain a ton of defense bonuses, and you also get that missed hit double accuracy special effect. And that's only at the cost of 11 mage bonus, which isn't crazy compared to that effect. Let me show you what I mean. Say you find a whale called Solar Mission out in the deep wilderness. When you splash, as I just did with the gauntlets on, I know my next attack with mage is going to be twice as accurate. So I can wait until Solar Mission is unfrozen, and then my Refreeze Barrage, I catch it. Twice as accurate, so if you time things correctly, these gloves are amazing for focusing. And the same is true just generally. Watch as I splash this freeze on a bot. My Refreeze, of course, is doubly accurate, so these are really good for PKing. Right, I need to find someone that's going to get on me. Okay, nice. It's not an absolute demon, but I'm going to show you that the reverse is true as well. The gloves are amazing for escaping. As you can see, I'm getting absolutely bodied by this guy, but it doesn't matter. I'm waiting for my freeze timer to go down to make my escape. Watch, as I put my D'Hide on, I splash the freeze on purpose so I can go in for my real Refreeze Barrage once I am unfrozen, get round the tree and escape. That Refreeze Barrage had double accuracy at the important time, and I am gone, logged out. Obviously, with PKing, the price of the gauntlets is definitely a factor, so I'd expect to see them in high-level PvP scenarios, and obviously everywhere where people can afford them in PvM. The next item that Delve drops is the Eye of Ayak. Not a best in slot, but a step to the late game. Okay, I bought for 250 mil. It bought for 187 mil. Not too bad. Now, I have to charge this thing with either 2 Death Runes and 1 Chaos Rune, or the new Demon Tears, which drop from the Delve boss. So, 2 methods to charge it. It's a stick of eyes. Actually bigger than I thought it was going to be. I like it. I think it looks really cool. Stats-wise, it is plus 30 magic accuracy, but stats don't matter too much because it is a powered staff. Let's have a look what this thing looks like casting. Holy, that looks so cool. What the hell? Now, the power of the eye is not in the max hit. It's in its speed. Look at this. It's rapid. It's 3-tick. The same speed as a magic short bow. Obliteration right there. Max hit wise, we are looking at a 41 compared to that of the Sang, which hits a 48. But this thing's faster than the Sanguinesti. It's 3-tick. So the Eye of Ayak will always be better than a Sanguinesti. It's like a bridge between the Sanguinesti and the Shadow. It falls about halfway on most bosses between the two. But one place it is absolutely best in slot at is Zora because of the damage cap. 37, 40, flinging orbs into this thing. Another 37, 44. And we pop with the Shadow. That is very quick. 40 seconds, new PB. I don't know what the old one was, but I will take it. Another place the Eye of Ayak is definitely good is at Nihilakast. Now you can 3-tick and quickly mage. Normally, nobody wants to mage. Blowpipe is amazing in here. There's a good option for melee. But now, Mage also has some 3-tick, so it's going to be very, very useful in the Nihilate room. The Eye of Ayak also has a special attack costing 50%. You drain the magic defense of your target by the amount that you hit. So let's have a look at what this looks like. Let's attack. Holy smasher, 53. Okay, that actually looks really cool. Wow, there's a lot going on there. All right, I'm doing Whisperer. I may as well chuck some specs in, lower the magic defense, and start chucking these bombs. This eye is super fast. I really like using it actually. 38, 17. You're just continuously chucking, which is so cool. I hate to break it to you though, this special attack is not that useful because it drains magic defense, while the Accursed Scepter drains magic level and defense level. They're actually different things, confusingly, and magic level and defense level are more important than the Ayak's magic defense. It's kind of like a placeholder spec. You've got nothing else. It's not that bad to use it, but it's not really going to change up anything with the meta. Hopefully. I could be wrong here. I don't actually understand it that well, to be honest. The Eye of Ayak is essentially the Bofa of Mage. It bridges that gap to the late game, and I think it's a very, very good addition to the game. One thing I forgot to mention yesterday was about the Bale of Flax. Yes, the Bale of Flax of all things. This is going to be huge news for the sweaty loser community. We now have stackable, unpackable flax, which you can use the spin flax spell on, which is crafting XP. So this is like having a banker's note from the previous leagues. You can train crafting 0 time with infinite amounts of flax in your inventory. Hopefully someone can find a use for this at some point. And that's all for the Delph boss rewards. I most definitely lost money, but it was definitely worth it to take a look. If you haven't seen any of Valimor Part 3, I made a video yesterday going through it all, so feel free to go and check that out now. Thanks again to Delete Me for sponsoring today's video. Click the link in the description and get 20% off to get your data removed from the internet. And subscribe.